and welcome to the new OC Avery breeding shed. Okay, so first, before I let you see the new breeding shed, we can't have the breeding shed empty, can we really? If we're going to be showing you the new shed, or it is a new one, but it's the second one for me. So this is my first original one, and in this video you're obviously going to see the second one that I've been working on tirelessly for quite a while, and building things up ready for it. So I can't let you see it without the birds in, so the first thing I'm going to do is catch all the birds up that are going to be moving in that shed, and then we'll move in there, we'll have a quick look at it. I'm going to set the cages up and show you what I'm doing to set the cages up, so you know how I do that. And how I clean them out, and obviously just what I supply the birds with, and then the birds are going to be moved in, so let's get to it. Is 2 cages emptied. So the first cage being of young, so here we have 8 young Redpolls and 4 young Siskins. Then we have this cage here. This is 7 Redpoll hens and a Siskin hen. So I'm going to go and set the cages up now. The birds here, which will, they'll be in the cages in a matter of minutes, so don't worry about that. They're obviously not in a small cage for very long like this, so let's get to it. So here we are back again. So again, welcome to the new shed. So you start off and you think, oh yeah, that's exciting, there's no cages. Boom, and there we are. So this first section here, I'm currently building some cages for. They'll go up this whole section. They'll basically be in line here, across, and up to here and across. So then we move on to these cages. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen these in about May when I picked them up. These I've cleaned down from the first original shed you will have noticed, which we had some Redpolls and some green finches breeding in. So yeah, there you are. So these are the cages. Obviously there's nothing in them at the moment. These are all PVC cages, all with PVC dividers, and then we have these cages down here, and then we have our wire cages. So yeah, and there you are. These 3 here, these all have dividers, so these can all be 3 long flights, which I'm going to set up soon. And then these 3 cages here, they are all separate, and the plan for those is to house mules through the show season, as well as the breeding season. So that's going to be mainly the cock mules in show season. Keep them away from anything else so they don't mess the feathers up fighting, and also something easy to colour feed them in. And then during breeding season, the cock mules will be in here, the 3 which I just had to keep on, which will be a Redpoll mule, a linnet mule, and the Siskin mule. And they will all get a hen each, so whether that's a canary hen or a mule hen, we will have to see. But yeah, the plan is to use them as feeders. And then obviously we have these wire kookaburra cages here. So these will be used for canaries, which you will see later in this video, that we will be adding some more additions to OC Avery. Yeah, I'm not going to say any more than that on those canaries until you see them, so make sure you continue watching to see the new canaries that I'm getting. And yeah, so there we are, let's get to setting up the cages. so that is the first 2 rows of cages, pretty much complete, obviously. So I have put some easy bed in the bottom, and that is just like a wood chip almost. So I use that. It's great. It soaks up any water, so you don't end up with you know, the moisture there. And it obviously can't go off, and yeah, just on the birds, so it's absolutely fantastic. That easy bed, which I'm you know, I use that a lot in all the bottoms of the cages, especially during breeding season. So yeah, there we are. So the plan is we're having 1 perch per sort of cage front, so there we are, and then we're having 2 here. That's just somewhere at the end for the birds to roost in the evening. Obviously you can hear the extractor fan going. I've got that on when it gets hot in the day, so I will have that set to a timer to make sure that it's kept you know, almost a constant temperature in here, so it doesn't get too hot for the birds. And yeah, so there you are. Also just allows air circulation, keeps the air clean, and that is where the air is inlet through, so just here. So there we are. So yeah, that now we just need to get this next row done here, and then these done, and then there we are. Obviously, as well, as I'm sure you'll see, these cages will be obviously absolutely fantastic for filming in, with a white background, very easy, so you can see the birds very well. Just for anyone who may be wondering what the sort of white cap is there, that is per cage, and what that is I have put the screws through the cages here. I've drilled the hole, the screw through into the wall at the back of the shed, so that then they're held well, and the white cap is just to cover that, so it's pretty much looks better, you can barely notice it. And yeah, there you are. So let's get to these next 2. Okay, so that is the bottom 2 rows complete. So obviously now we have this whole block complete, with the sort of clean out stuff, with the easy bed. So now I'm going to get on to doing these 4 cages. Obviously, again, very simple. I'm just going to be removing the dividers, as I won't be needing a cage just of that size right now for the birds that will be going in there. So that'll be the new canaries, which I'll be collecting soon, which you'll see later in the video, as well as probably 1 or 2 cock canaries, and the female mules, which I have, well, one of which I've bred this season, and the others which I've been using as feeders. So yeah, there you are. So let's get to it. And just like that, the cages are all cleaned, well, obviously fitted out with the easy bed. So there we are. So what I will do now is I'm going to get water in for the birds. So I will be using, again, because they're in the molt, I will be using the methods in the previous video with medication stuff. So if you haven't watched that, make sure you go watch that to understand how you know, to get your birds through the molt successfully, and the vitamins and supplements that you should use for a clean and stress-free molt. So yeah, there you are. And yeah, so I'm going to get on with that now. My stuff's there, and yeah, I'll see you once I've completed that. Okay, so now the cages have been filled, you know, the pots have been filled with food, they have water, they've all got baths. I've sort of arranged as to where which birds will be going. So we're going to start off. We have the over-year hens here. So the idea of this shed is it will be a small finch shed for also mules, just for storing the mules, for storing the hybrids over the breeding season and show season, and then obviously for breeding the small finches and what. So we have the over-year hens here. So there's 7 Redpoll hens in here. There's a cinnamon, 3 cobalts and 2 normals in there, and then and an agate pastel hen, and then there's the Siskin hen, who's a normal. Then we have the Redpoll chicks and Siskin chicks in here. So we have 4 normal Siskin chicks. We have 4 normal Redpoll chicks, 2 cinnamon, potentially pastel Redpoll chicks, and a cobalt Redpoll chick. So let's introduce them to their cages. Okay, so that was the introduction of all these finches, these young finches. So they obviously, as you've just seen, went in remarkably well, not too panicky really. So that's obviously great, and yeah, so we're now going to get the over-year hens in. Okay, so releasing the hens in here, that was far smoother than it was to do the young. Obviously, all of these birds have been used to a show cage, so sort of knew what they had to do and actually where to get out. So yeah, obviously these guys went in far easier, so that's great. So yeah, so now what the plan is to get the cockbirds into the over-year cocks. So that is 3 Redpoll cocks and 2 Siskin cocks. So I'm going to go and catch them up, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and the 2 Siskin cocks are here, and the 3 Redpoll cocks are here. So we have obviously 2 normal Siskin cocks, then we have a cinnamon Redpoll cock, a cobalt Redpoll cock, and a normal Redpoll cock. So we're going to get those into the new cages, and let's see that. So the Redpoll cocks are now in. So I've got those guys in what is a double breed, would be the size of a double breeder, to like a 2 section, as I have the Siskin cocks in the 2 section as well. I've just done this just for, I don't want to overcrowd a cage, but I also don't want to underutilise a cage. So now I'm going to be fetching the cock mules. So I am thinking of putting possibly a Redpoll mule cock in here, as these obviously they are on colour feet as well, and then the 3 other mule cocks will go in there, and then yeah, so then we're going to get those in, and yeah, then we're going to be moving the mule hens and the canary cocks. So we're here with 2 of the mule cocks. So I'm going to go here first. So this is a Siskin mule. So it was a Siskin cock who is actually behind me. Where are we? This one. So that is the dad. That Siskin there is the dad to this Siskin mule and to a Satinette Canary hen. So I bred this year. So far it's been showing some great qualities as a miniature mule. Obviously you don't tend to get just a Siskin mule not being a miniature mule unless you do that with a Norwich, and then it still requires it to be a fairly large bird. So obviously this is a young bird, so it is colouring up quite nicely already. We're seeing the yellows coming through, and I have got it on colour feed, so hopefully we do get the oranges and reds. Then we move here. This is an over-year linnet mule. So this is a linnet cock to a Norwich hen, and it is again on colour food. So this is quite a nice mule. As far as linnet mules go, this is quite a decent specimen, as many linnet mules tend to look almost 99% linnet, with a slight, only the size showing that it is actually a mule, as a normal linnet is no bigger than the Siskin mule. So if we put those guys side by side, you can tell a clear difference. If that was a linnet, which is the same size, then there is a remarkable difference. So there we are, that is the linnet mule, and that is the Siskin mule. So we'll be moving those in now. And as a final for the mule cocks, we have two Redpoll mule cocks. So both are mealy Redpoll to Norwich Hen. So Norwich Canary, mealy Redpoll. So we have this one here. I took him to the shows last year. This counts as a miniature mule. He did very well for me. And then we have this one I brought in earlier in the year. A fairly decent price. Who is, a decent enough bird, quite a nice bird. So they are both on colour feed, so hopefully we do get some good results. And these birds will be competing against each other, so this will be in obviously my own little shows, as you may call it, as I look through the birds I've got to see who will be staying on here and who will be moving on. So that is the Redpoll mule cocks, and yeah, so if you are interested, do get in touch, as one of these birds will be looking for a new home probably around October time, once the molts are completely finished and they're all coloured up and show trained, ready to see who's got the best qualities. I will be keeping, and the other, although neither is a bad quality bird, both are really good quality birds, I will only be keeping one of them. And we move to the final birds, which will be moving into the shed from the other shed out of my current stock. So in here we have a Norwich cock, a buff cock, and we have a yellow, sort of heavily variegated fife cock. So we're going to move those in, and then we come down to the mule hens. So in here we have 3 European goldfinch mule hens, a Siberian goldfinch mule hen, and a Siskin mule hen that is the sister to the cockbird down here. So we're going to move those in, and then hopefully we should be ready on to the next part of the show, where we are adding the new canaries, which I'll be picking up then. So there we are, that is all of the birds moved in so far, of which will be obviously coming in here. So this is a small finch shed, as I said before. So the idea of this is that it will be for siskins, redpolls and canaries, including housing mules and hybrids, or definitely mules, perhaps hybrids, if maybe we get some this year. So we'll take you through. In here we have the young redpolls. So as you can see here, we have a young redpoll who has been out of the nest for about 3 weeks now, and does seem to endure a bit of heavy plucking from its mother, which is why it's looking a bit scruffy here. we then come down to this end where we're seeing a lot of the birds. So we have a couple of young redpolls here that have almost nearly molted out, and then we have the brother or sister to the sort of scruffy one, if you will. So there you are, that is the young redpolls and the young siskins. We then move down here to the redpoll over year hens and the siskin hen. All of these are pretty much in a heavy molt right now, all looking quite scruffy. So there you are for that. We'll move down here to the siskin cocks, and then we move here to the redpoll cocks and the redpoll mule cock, the second one. From there we come down and we have a linnet mule cock, we have a siskin mule cock, we have a redpoll mule cock, and then we have the mule hens. So as I said before, the 4 goldfinch mule hens and a siskin mule hen. And then here to the 2 canary cocks, the Norwich cock and the Fife cock. So there you are. So that is everything moved in here from the shed, which would be coming in here, and hopefully, relying on the guy who I'm getting the new canaries from, you should be seeing the new canaries shortly. Okay, and finally, I've just collected some new canaries. So these canaries are Norwich Canaries. I've just collected them now. They weren't cheap by any means, but the plan for these is to probably have a pair to breed next year to produce my own line of Norwich, as well as 2 of them to be used for muling, which I haven't decided yet, but I have some ideas in mind. So if you do have any ideas in mind for what you would like me to make a mule of, please leave that in the comments below. So let's take a look at these new Norwich. Okay, so we come first to this flighted Norwich cock, which is a heavily variegated dark bird. It does look like a yellow bird to me, with quite a good intensive colour. So this is an over-year bird, as you just said. So it is in good condition, and is in definitely a good quality sort of look. It's got the head to it, which is great, and the body. Its tail feathers are just regrowing. So yeah, there we are. That is the first, which is a dark variegated Norwich cock. We then move to another Norwich cock here. So this is definitely a yellow bird, and this is a current year bird. So this is a young bird, 2020 young Norwich. So he's only within it, a couple of months old really, which is already looking a good bird. It's definitely got the feather to it, and it's a good size. Let's hope to see that head develop, as it isn't quite as large as the one we saw on the other cock bird. So there we are, clear yellow Norwich cock. We're then here with this Norwich hen. So this is a cinnamon variegated Norwich hen, flighted bird. This is a 2017 bird, so this is the oldest Norwich I have bought today, which is looking a very good bird. I am very, very pleased with this. It has the size and it has the head. The colour is great. This is a buff bird, so isn't an intensive feather, so I'm hoping that we will obviously be able to breed this bird next year. This will be definitely one of the pairing which I'll be producing pure Norwich with. So there we are. There is a cinnamon variegated Norwich hen. And then finally we come to this. This is a clear Norwich hen. This is again a buff bird, as you can tell, not the intensive feather. Again, this is quite a very good bird. I do like this bird. It's got a good head to it. Could do with a slightly larger cap, but not to worry. It does have definitely the feather on it though, with the body. So I do very much like this bird. So this is once again a flighted Norwich hen. So there we are. That is the new bird shed, the bird room here. So if you did like this video, please leave a like, a thumbs up. Please do subscribe if you're new, and obviously if you are already subscribed, thank you for watching again and supporting the channel. So obviously we are going to see quite a lot of changes now. Now that we're going through the molt, we're taking the birds through the molt, so we've got all of these here and obviously the birds at the back, and then we also have the other bird shed and the birds out in the flights, which obviously we will hopefully be seeing in the next video. So yeah, there we are. So subscribe if you're new, please leave a like, and I will see you in the next one.